John had it again. So remember, all the slaves are down here.
Yeah.
Okay. Should the president
Yeah,
have
so
let slavery continue here?
Lincoln
Continue in
had
the
this
country?
decision to either go to war
should you
or
go
let
to
the South
war
become their own
and
country.
slavery?
So
Or
which
go
one
to
should he
war.
pick? Should he pick that they go to war to stay
That's
one
right, so
nation
those
and
are
end
two
slavery,
issues. Keep
or should he
slavery,
let the South become
Go
its
to
own
war.
country?
That's what you need to decide. Which one would you do? You would go to war?
How
How about you?
Yep, and so then we would have two separate countries. The North would be its own country where slavery was illegal. The South would be its own country where slavery was still legal. Or we go to the Civil War and keep our country as one piece and try to end slavery in all of the
Now
country.
finish it. Now you need 3 ideas to support this.
So we
3
did
pieces
like
of
a day where we took notes.
Okay, that can be how many people died during the war. That can be the effects war had
I
on.
don't know.
It's kind of far back though.
It
I mean,
is.
the one with
It was like the pluses and minuses where you said like the cost was the Civil War, but then we made like a list of why it would maybe be a good thing. This. So there's both your sides of the argument.
Was that? Okay.
So if you don't let them secede,
Let us know, okay? All right, man.
oh, you didn't fill out the points. Maybe see. Do you have the points?
We're gonna make them stronger by forcing them to stay. You guys doing okay? What are you guys thinking right now, Lynn?
Let them secede
Why is that?
because so was this between the North and the South, right?
Yeah.
Because the North, since the North, they back down to the North.
Okay. So you're saying you think the South would just back down anyway?
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't need to force them because it would just happen anyway?
Well, didn't the South know that the North had more power?
Probably, yeah. Like what are you thinking? Like more power? What does that
Like
mean?
that people would go with Lincoln.
Okay.
I know. I read it on the Teen Visio side
So go ahead. What did you read?
that the South already like kind of knew that that everybody would be with Lincoln,
Okay.
so they split.
Okay.
But North still took over the South.
Okay. So you're saying let them secede because people would be supporting Lincoln anyway.
Yeah.
But then you would have, can I see your map? Or maybe it's your notebook. You still have your map in here?
Yeah.
Let's see. What's it going to be?
Okay, guys, remember that your third piece of evidence is going to be your one that you use with your counterclaim. You cannot repeat pieces
That's
of
right.
No, I
evidence.
have another map.
You do? In here?
Yeah.
Cool. Is it done?
Yeah. Remember I did it?
Oh yeah, study hall. That's right.
I don't know what it is.
Oh, it's all good, man. All I wanted to show you was those states in the South, right? Do you have yours? Do you have your map?
Yeah.
Can I see it? So I can use an example for both of you guys? Perfect. Thanks, man. Here. Ah, perfect. You can look at yours too. So I just wanted to show you. So you're saying let all these red states break away and be on their own country, right? So what are the reasons? Why do you think you should just let them secede?
Because they already knew that Abraham Lincoln would have took over,
Okay.
so they tried to split up.
Okay. So what else? So there's one. You got Lincoln. Like they knew they were gonna like be forced to change anyway. So if they
Yeah.
break away, then they can be their own country.
Yeah.
What else? What else would be another reason for why you would force them to stay, or let them secede? What do you avoid if you let them secede?
Slavery.
No. You don't avoid slavery. So that's your biggest decision. That's what I want to make sure you understand.
no, you don't avoid slavery. You.
Why? How come you don't avoid slavery? I want to
They,
make sure you know
they
that.
split apart because they wanted slavery.
There it is. Who wants slavery?
Are you guys all good? Do you all understand that word? We're good? Okay. So secede means in
What do you avoid? What is
the South will become its own country
to end
to avoid the Civil War.
You avoid war, right? So
if I say don't let them secede, which means
you let them
they
have the
will?
power.
We
that
would
they
go to the
wanted
Civil
to
War.
because they thought Lincoln would take it
We
away.
would have the Civil War and try to end slavery and stay one
Two
country.
good ideas. So what if you let if you avoid
That makes
slavery?
sense, Sasha? Are we still a little lost?
Stop.
it's okay if you want to. Okay.
Like if you avoid the Civil War, what's the advantage to that?
Sorry.
Right, if the Civil War
Okay, so
never.
now we need 3 pieces of evidence. You guys can see them? You don't want to play the game.
We'll come back. All right, let me see if I can get some people to help you out and stuff. Okay?
Okay.
Kyle, you have a big decision, so you need to decide what's more important to you.
Okay, so for now, just come up with your pieces of
Oh,
evidence.
well then that's an easy
So,
change. If
because
you mean
those
no,
are
go
what's
ahead and just
going
do
to
that.
finish
So
out your
if
claim
you
for
say
you, that
no,
summary
don't
part.
let them secede,
So come up with your
then
3
you avoid
pieces.
this
This rebuttal is your
end
3rd piece of
slavery.
evidence.
Should I change mine because my 3 evidence of social support?
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't have a counter anymore.
Don't worry about it. So this is just you can put that on your claim right there.
Oh,
so,
it's not finished.
no, you
Oh,
should
okay.
not
So,
let them secede
sorry, what's your question?
Because it,
I only have these ones. I don't have a rebuttal.
So just come up with one. What's if
So should I
the
change
opposite
my
side of the argument is that he should have let them secede, right?
oh yeah.
Why
so
would
you
people
get
have
rid of
said
slavery.
that? That he should let them become their own country?
You end slavery.
What's the argument for letting them become their own country?
Not letting them secede. So you have to go to war, but what do you end? So you have to
That
choose
maybe
one
debt.
option.
He's going to debt for the
Oh, okay. So the debt is a good argument. So what is he going to debt for? The war, right?
How?
Yeah.
Who do you say?
So your counterclaim is not going to war. The explanation is that people would have wanted to avoid the debt that you that you get for going to war, and then your rebuttal is your argument that knocks that down. So that's your point here.
So let's do that one.
But
Let's
I
just
don't
do that
understand
one
what my
piece
rebuttal
then.
would be.
Start with that.
Well, what knocks down that idea?
Alright.
Oh, slavery would end.
Slavery would end. The benefit outweighs the cost, right?
Okay.
That's your
got it.
rebuttal. Okay?
Got it.
And then, it's really, really powerful in your rebuttal if you use evidence that we talked about, right? So if you go look and, talk about the atrocities of slavery, that's going to help your point, right? Does
Should
that
I
make sense?
change the order? Should it be in
Chris, you
order?
okay?
So your goal when you
You know
do
what
this
you're
is
doing?
you use your most powerful piece of
You at least know
evidence
what you're doing.
first.
Oh man.
Because if you know what you're doing, then I don't have to say it.
Can I get another
Because I
piece
want you to think
Yeah,
of yourself.
of course.
I don't want to give you any.
The worst time.
You like road trip? Okay. So let's just
But
say
we've
people
talked
that
about it a
die.
lot. So what is the evidence for the other side?
And more work.
That it would let them go to war.
Yeah, so that's your biggest thing. How many people died in the Civil War? Do you remember that?
Yes, this is for this part here.
Wow, right?
Does not work.
So this is your biggest thing. Your counterclaim is that we should have gone to war to end slavery, but your rebuttal is look at how many people
If
died.
you want to end slavery, which
Okay, and then your source for that is just Civil War statistics.
these people are going to die first and that cause.
Yep.
Okay. So what else? What would be another reason to force the South to stay?
How's it going, guys? Tomorrow. Tomorrow at 3. So I'll just have you walk down with me at the end of school.
Okay.
You scared?
Because of how much people die, I'm supposed to put that in this explanation, yeah? Although some people think that
So what are your 3 pieces of
going
evidence?
to war is bad, I'm supposed to do opposite, yeah? Oh my gosh.
Here you said you should change your mind.
I have to read
Oh, you were trying to say something.
Doing good.
Okay, so the question
Which is
confused you
what
guys a
you
little
said here.
bit.
Because it ends slavery.
Because the counterclaim's just the opposite of your claim. Okay, so if you start there, maybe we'll get the ball rolling and you'll be ready to
But you
move
know
on.
You're gonna have to write for yourself, right? So you can still have that. You can still
Oh, skipping the hard part, huh?
Yeah.
cotton in the south and the factories in the north.
Okay,
If you
so remember that I know that you know all these things because you learned them in here, but you still have to cite it. So you're gonna have to find that information in the text and say where you got it from.
Okay.
Okay?
okay,
Yeah.
actually get another evidence, piece of evidence.
All this stuff up here. So like any information that we've learned in class is like we have those chapters we read in the textbook. If you want to cite the modern day slavery article, it's right there. Pick up your head, please. Do you have 3 pieces of evidence yet? Can I see?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
city of slavery.
Because of these.
That's your rebuttal.
What would someone who says you should let
Your
the South
explanation?
I don't understand how to explain it.
Oh no, that's great. Your explanation is fine. Then your rebuttal piece is one of your pieces of evidence. So that's where you go look at like what the horrible parts of slavery were and say that it was worth all the debt that we went into going to war to end slavery because slavery was so blah 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 blah, and you use the evidence from the text to support that.
But okay, so is it just one complete sentence? Though?
Exactly.
No, it's going to be a whole
opposite of this.
paragraph by the time
So
you're done.
again, so it's one someone who said you should let the South secede. What would they say, and then why would they say?
Because you're going to explain your ideas.
That's what those.
So like
this
you're
is
going to
the what
also
would they
include your
say,
rebuttal, and that's
and
part of
this
your
is the
paragraph
what-
too.
why would they
In
say.
this tiny little
Does that make
box.
sense?
Well, but this
I'll come
is
back.
just
I'll
your
check with you.
ideas that you're
I think
starting
you have a
with,
good
and then
idea.
remember we
Sure.
take
You got all the
the
right
thing and
pieces.
write our draft.
Yes,
And
sir.
if you want to take more notes on a separate piece of paper, or if you want me to grab you a second graphic organizer so you can staple them together and have more space, okay. You can just bullet point stuff for now, right? Because this is just organizing our ideas. So it's getting all your ideas down, and then you
So it's
expand
just your
on them and you
transitions
write
to
your
start
draft.
your paragraph.
The lead-in is, you can use one of that transitions worksheet we had, or it's just so that you guys aren't starting every single paragraph with the same.
So you know how you
Then
transition
Lincoln did
between
this,
your
then
paragraphs.
Lincoln did that, right? So you just want to
And then
make
you also have a
sure
transition
you have
between
sentences
your
that
ideas,
start.
your evidence, and your reason
Yep.
for that. Yeah, you actually have it too.
Okay, like,
We gave it to you at the beginning of the year. But
It's
why
a
did
fact.
people die for a good cause?
so you can instead,
Does that
for
make
your
sense?
source,
What is the reason all these
use-
people died for?
because you're going to need like reasoning and backup for this, right? So slavery ended, it would have continued if it weren't for the Civil War. Why was it so important that we ended slavery? Because it was awful, right?
Keep the
People were
country
treated awful.
together
Did we
to
read about
end
that?
Slavery.
So do you think you could use evidence
Yeah,
from the
exactly.
text for that? Yeah. So
So
look
just
up
say,
what we read about
just
slavery.
your idea. Don't worry
You
about
could
how you
also
started. We can go
use
back
a
and read
21st
that
century
later.
slave article
What
because
is
it talks
the
about
reason why you
modern day
think
slavery.
that
So
they
you can say
are
like if we wouldn't have ended it, America would be just
wrong
like
and why you were right?
this. Does that make sense? Okay. So
That's what you.
you have to explain why this backs up your claim. Reason is why. Okay. Okay, so add a little bit about, like, this is great. We did want to end slavery, right? That's why we went to war. But why should we
Tell
end
you what,
slavery?
instead of sitting here, it looks like you're having a hard time coming up.
Nobody else gets hurt. What
Go
happened?
back and look at your notebook. Okay, look, so March 25th until today are all.
you remember how we
all
read
the
about
reasons
that?
we got- for all the reasons that like this splitting out. Okay, see that on the front page. Web YouTube, man.
Oh, you know what you should use? Is this, remember how we read this
So
article?
Chris, you okay?
Why don't you see if you can find some evidence for how bad slavery is